Yay, Social Security. You did what? Don't do that. Okay, so Social Security is a federal program in the US that provides retirement benefits and disability income to qualified individuals and their spouses, children, and survivors. Um, so workers must be at least 62. Why you gotta why? Like 2 minutes into it, and have paid into the system for 10 years or more to qualify for Social Security retirement benefits. So, backstory, Beyonce's uncle has done like little side jobs, but never actually like been on like a thing where he would like have to pay taxes. He just did like cash jobs, like he works in construction and that kind of stuff, right? So the government doesn't recognize that as work. So he can't get Social Security because he hasn't done 10 years. Yeah. So when you're picking jobs, keep that in mind if you're trying to plan for retirement. Okay. So you got to have that W-2 to prove, hey, I've done 10 years. Does that make sense? Okay. So 62 years and paid to the system for 10 years. The Social Security is run by the Social Security Administration. What's up? If I do, it's going to be over there. Administration. Okay, so Social Security benefits, those are for workers who are 62 years or older who have earned at least 40 credits. For adults 18 or older who are unable to work due to physical or mental disability that is expected to last at least 12 months or result in death. Disability benefits are if you have a chronic illness like cancer of some sort that's going to last more than 12 months. But it is very hard to get disability benefits. It is very, very, very challenging. It takes about 2 years to actually get it. By the time you actually get it, you're already in trouble. Yeah. So it sounds great, but it's difficult. Okay, so proving that you are sick and that it's going to last more than 12 months is hard. Like it's a hard thing to do. I had a woman stay with me over the summer who had breast cancer, she had colon cancer, and then she had some other things going on. And proving that she was disabled and couldn't work was difficult. Exactly. Yeah. But we had to run around, go get all of her medical like stuff and then send it off and then still had to prove other things. Like it's hard. Oh, great stuff if you can do it. Survivors benefits. This is for the family members of deceased workers who qualified for Social Security. So, for instance, Fiance's mom, so Fiance's dad died when he was 17, to leukemia. And so he had worked like 40 years. And so he was in Social Security. Well, his Social Security is paying for her life now. Like she gets a check every month from Social Security for his existence and working. Does that make sense? So it's good stuff if you want to take care of your family members after the fact. Okay. Sorry, that's a little morbid. It's fine. All right. So we're going to watch this really quick. And Most people in this economy are in between these two numbers. That's why in the game of life, if you've ever played it, it has like a retirement savings of $2 million because that's where most people are. No. Okay. So Social Security. Social Security benefits depend on your age at which you retire, and it also depends on your contributions. So again, when you work, they take out for Social Security. They pull out money for Social Security. So you kind of like buy into the pot, but you saw the benefits for it, right? So if you're making $50,000 a year and you get 17,000 for Social Security in a year, boom, your savings go down. So you can begin receiving Social Security benefits at the age of 62. The standard age for 100% benefits, I want to make sure this hasn't changed. I don't think it has. Standard retirement age to receive 100% benefits is 67, but it depends on when you were born. It's like roughly 66/67. Okay. It does depend on when you were born because from 1943 to 1954, it's 66. From 1955 to 1959, it increases by 2 months per year from 66. God bless. So you can start claiming at 62, but full, you want to wait until you're like 66, 67. Okay. Benefit as a percentage of the FIA by age for Americans was born after 1960. So here's a little chart that actually breaks that down for you. And you have to look it up. So if you want 100%, you're going to be roughly at 67 years old. Yeah, does that make sense? Okay. So if you wait longer, that's great. But what is our life expectancy now? What's our average life expectancy? Anybody know? No. 77.5 roughly. So you start accepting 100% benefits at 67 and you're only expected to live another 10, 11 years. Yeah, kind of depressing. All right. The AIM, okay, or AIME, stands for, or is the average of the highest of 35 years of the workers' index. Okay, so this is going to stand for, make sure I got this right. There we go. Okay, average indexed monthly earnings. Is the average of the highest 35 years of the workers' index earnings, adjusted for inflation, and is expressed as a monthly income. Okay, so do you remember when we talked about like pensions? Yes, or Monday? Okay, so fiance is paramedic. He gets a pension. What happens is they look at his yearly income and then they look at the average of his yearly income over a period of time. So over the 35 years. Okay. That helps him make more money when he goes into retirement. All right. PIA is the benefit of a person who will receive if they elect to begin receiving retirement benefits at their normal retirement age of 67. And that's going to stand for the primary insurance amount. Primary insurance amount. For individuals becoming eligible in 2025, the PIA is 90% of the first 1,226 of AIM plus 32% of AIMs over the 1,226 and through 7,391 plus 15% of his or her average index monthly earnings over 7,391. Okay. The monthly AIM, if it is less than 1,226, that means that if you make, on average, less than 1,226, then you're going to get 90% of your monthly AIM. You remember like our little tax bracket thing? Kind of the same thing. There's like levels that you kind of fall into. Okay. Most people are going to fall inside of here. So if you make between 1,226 and 7,391, you're going to get $1,000 plus you'll get 32% of your monthly earnings over the 1,000. Okay. And then if you make more than this, this is how much you'll get. Okay. Again, most people fall in this middle range. Okay. The minimum Social Security benefit is $1,066.50 for Americans with at least 30 years of working. The maximum at age 67 is $3,822, $2,710 at age 62, and $4,873 at age 70. So basically, as long as you work more than 10 years in the US and you have gotten to age 70, okay, then you can make up to $4,873. And that's not including the earnings that you would have from your 401k, etc. Does that make sense? That's like why your grandparents can give you money on your birthday and your Christmas, and they buy you nice stuff and they buy you a car, like whatever. It's because they get Social Security and they get their amount from their work. Does that make sense? Okay. Because I always wondered why, like, my grandparents had. I was like, my parents are struggling. Why do you have money? It's because of all this jazz. Okay. Martin's taxable income is $48,000 per year. Social Security taxes are 6.2% of taxable income. How much does Martin pay in Social Security taxes each year? So you do pay Social Security taxes. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So Martin's taxable income is $48,000 and it's taxed at 6.2%. So 48,000 times 0.062. Tell me what you get. Say it again. 48,000 times 6.2%.
976.
So 2,976. Okay. On number 2, it says Jose works as an accountant and makes $152,000 in taxable income. In 2020, the maximum taxable income for Social Security was $137,000. If Social Security taxes is 6.2% of your eligible wages, how much did Jose pay in Social Security taxes? So remember, it says that they can only tax up to $137,000. Okay, so $137,000 times 0.062 is how much? Okay, so I want you to think about that again. He makes $152,000, but there's a cap on how much they can tax. You know how they always say, like, the rich get a tax break? Okay, that's so that they don't get hit super hard for earning more. Yeah, like, look at this. The difference between these two is how much? What's 152 minus 137? Okay, so there's $25,000 where there's like, it's not getting taxed on Social Security. Now there are other taxes that go into it, right? And most of that $25,000 extra is going to like charities or some type of thing. Because if they're holding it in their account, then they're taxed on it again. Most people who make a ton of money, they're not holding a ton of money in their accounts. They're putting it in other investments so that they're not getting double taxed. Yeah. Okay. All right. Zane wants to retire at 62, but knows that this will incur a 6.7, thank you. Okay, a 6.7% reduction in his retirement. If Zane's monthly benefit was $1,273.08, what would his actual benefit be from the penalty? Okay, so let's think about it. We got 6.7% of $1,273.08. Okay, so how much is that? We're going to do 0.067 times 1,273.08. What does that give me? That's $85.30. So his actual benefit, is take your 1273.08 and we're going to subtract the penalty. When we do that, it's going to be $1,187.78. So even though he's going to pull out of Social Security early, it's not that big of a drop. I mean, it's $100. It's $100. But let's say 100 times 12 is what? 1,200. So each year he's missing out on 1,200 because he took it out at 62. Yeah. So it's kind of like, how patient can you be with your retirement? The more patient you are, the more of a benefit it is. Yeah. So Marissa is retiring with a calculated monthly adjusted average of 2,300. What is her monthly benefit? Okay. So if she's doing 90% of the first 926, she's doing 32% of earnings between 926 and 5,583. And she's doing 15% of over the 5,583. So where would she fall? In that 32%. So we have to account for the 90% being that 926, right? So we're going to get 0.9 times 926. And that's going to give us 833.4. And then we're going to do 32% of the remaining amount, which was 1,384. And that's going to equal 442.88. And then we're going to add those two together. So let me give this to you again. This comes from that little chart. So it's 90% of the first $926. So from this 2,300 that we make, 926 of it is going to be at 90%. That's how much she's going to get. The remaining amount, so 2,300 minus 926 is right here. And we're going to multiply that by 0.32. And this is how much she gets. When we add these two together, we're going to get 1,276.28. All right, go ahead and flip the page. All right, so you must earn 40 Social Security credits to earn benefits when you retire. The maximum amount you can earn each year is 4 credits. Everyone, in 1980, the amount of earnings to earn. Okay, I'm gonna call your name. Come grab this. We're gonna do this. Oh, okay, y'all can take that paper. In 1980. Amount of earnings to earn one Social Security credit was $290. If Chuck earned $55 per week in 1980, how many credits did he earn that year? Okay. So if we have 4 credits in a year, then we're going to say that 290, right? Because that's how much it was to earn 1 credit, multiplied by 4 is going to give us 1,160. But Chuck earned $55 per week. So Chuck earned $55 per week, and there's 52 weeks in a year. So he earned 2,860. What's the max number of credits that you can earn in a year, though? 4. So he made 4 credits. Because did he hit this limit? Yes, he went over it. Yes. So they'll set an amount for how much a Social Security credit is worth. So like, let's say it's 290. Well, 290 times 4 gives us 1,160. That's how much you have to make to qualify for your credits. But you can only have 4 credits per year. Remember, we work 10 years to be invested in this. I always ask, why is it 4 credits? Well, because there's 4 quarters in a year, right? We okay? I know it's a lot. All right, pensions. Let's talk about that. So a pension is an income to an employee after retirement by an employer. Employee contributions are usually tax deferred. There are 3 different formulas used to calculate a pension. You got the flat benefit formula, the career advantage average formula, and the final average formula. So, flat benefit. This is going to be a paid fixed monthly pension based on years. So you've worked there for 30 years. This is how much you've gotten into your pension. Boom, done. A career average is a fixed average percentage of all earnings of all years worked. So let's say that it's 32% of your total earnings. And final average formula, it's based on fixed average percentage of last several years. This one's my favorite, and the reason why is because normally you're making the most money that you're probably making your entire career at the end of your career. So if they're doing a percentage off of the last 5 years, well, that's when I was making the most, right? So that would give me the most benefit. So Andrew worked for Snap-on Tools for 25 years. Snap-on offers a flat benefit formula with a fixed $45 per month for each year of service as a pension. How much will Andrew receive per year? So homeboy makes $45 per month. We're taking 45, multiplying it per month, and then we're doing it for 25 years. So how much will he receive? 13,500. Cost of living adjustments based on the consumer price index are frequently made to pensions to account for inflation. Amir earns $800 per month from his pension from General Motors. If Amir receives a 2% COLA in the spring and a 2.2% I can't read. It's fine. 2.21% COLA in the fall, how much will he earn from his pension in the fall? So for the spring, he makes $800 with that 2% plus that $800. So he would make $816 per month. For the fall, he's doing $816 times the 0.0221 plus $816. And that's going to give him $834.03 per month. Okay, so first we had to calculate the spring because that impacts the fall. Notice how this number came from this calculation. All right, looking at the next one. Most employers use a combination of formulas to provide pension benefits. Alex's employer offers an annual pension benefit of 1.5% of his career salary times the number of years worked the service of the company. Alex's average salary was $70,986.68, and he worked for 25 years. What is his annual pension benefit? So we're going to do 1.05%, so that's 0.015 times how much he made times the number of years he worked. That's going to be 26,620.80. Or I'm sorry, 81. No, it should be 01. My bad. Brian's employer offers a pension benefit based on the final 3-year average salary, the number of years of service, and a 2% multiplier. Brian made $125,000 last year and $110,000 2 years ago, $95,000 3 years ago. He has been working there for 15 years. What will his pension be? Okay, so we're going to take his average for the last 3 years. So we're going to add 125,000, 110,000, 95,000 and divide by 3. Tell me what you get. Okay, so his average is 110,000. So now we're trying to figure out how much his pension is going to be. So we're going to take the amounts, multiply by the percentage, multiply by the number of years. And when we do that, that's going to give us $33,000, too many, per year. So the formula for this is kind of like what you make currently on average times your rate times how many years you worked. Yep. So 110,000 times 0.02 times 15. Okay. Last question. Okay. Anne's worked for the same company as Brian, but decides to leave her job after 5 years. Company's vesting formula is shown in the table. If Anne averages 3-year salary was $50,000, what is her calculated annual pension benefit? So if she works 5 years, what percentage are we at? We're at 80%, right? So we're going to say 80% of 50,000 is how much? That's 40,000, right? So then to find her annual pension, we're going to get 40,000 times 5 times 0.02. And that's going to give us $4,000 per year. If she would have worked one more year, she would have been at 50,000. And she would have made $6,000 per year. Does that make sense? Questions on that? Okay. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to work on your Unit 7 project. And then I'm going to give you a review because we have a short little quiz tomorrow. I got to print it out first. Sorry, we didn't have paper this morning. So go ahead and take out your laptop. You're going to take a couple minutes. I want you to work on your Unit 7 project. Your Unit 6 project is due November 1st. Your Unit 7 is due the 8th. You'll be fine. You've had enough time to work on both. So Unit 6 due November 1st. Unit 7 due November 8th. Okay? Remember, I'm not taking your work. You don't turn it in on time, I do not care. Okay? So I need you to make sure you turn it in on time. Have I got it? All right. Go ahead and take a couple minutes. You're working on that. I'm going to print out